A developing story out of the Dominican Republic. Police there say at least 27 people are dead and more than 130 people hospitalized after a roof of a nightclub collapsed. It happened early this morning in the capital city of Santo Domingo.
Here you can see video from inside the club taken just moments before the roof caved in. As we speak, authorities say the crews are still digging through the rubble, searching for possible survivors. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson is following this for us. Priscilla, it's still unclear what exactly caused this collapse, but that investigation is getting started. What are you hearing from authorities?
Right. So not immediately clear what actually caused this. And as you saw in that video, at one point you have a band and this merengue singer on the stage performing, and the next second it just goes black and you hear the screams and it is chaos. So it doesn't appear that folks in there got any sort of warning that this was about to come down. And of course, investigators right now are focused on the search for survivors. They've got nearly 24 different teams on the ground, plus volunteers that are working to try to find anyone in that rubble who may still be alive, working in 2-hour shifts to try to get anyone out that they can. And I should note one detail that we do know about what happened is that the band that was performing, their manager says that this all happened. They took the stage just after midnight, and about an hour in is when this collapse happened. So getting some information about the timing of this all, but still no word on what exactly caused it.
Priscilla, what have we learned so far about the victims here?
Yeah, so tragically, we know 27 people have died. We know that one of them is Nelsie Cruz. She is a governor there, but also the sister of former MLB player Nelson Cruz. And as for the band on the stage, their manager is saying that the singer, Ruby Perez, was pulled out of the rubble alive, but unfortunately, their saxophonist was killed. So certainly a lot of just tragedy and despair on the ground there. And meanwhile, you also have more than 130 people who were transported to hospitals. We did just receive a list that a number of those folks are in stable condition, but no word overall on everyone's condition. And of course, they are still searching for additional survivors and folks in that rubble.
Priscilla Thompson, thank you. We appreciate it.
Our following developing news this morning out of the Dominican Republic. At least a dozen people are dead after a roof caved in at a packed nightclub. NBC's Matt Bodner is following that and other world headlines for us. Hi, Matt. Good morning.
Savannah, good morning. At least 13 people are dead and 93 hospitalized following a roof collapse at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic. The incident took place at the Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo while patrons of the club crowded the dance floor. Rescue efforts are currently underway, and there are signs of life beneath the rubble.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is April 8th, 2025. So, as you guys saw in the video, they reported that, they first reported that 27 people passed away from this collapse that happened in the Dominican Republic earlier this morning. But now the toll has risen to 44 people have died. 44. If you guys are new here, what we discuss in this channel is Gematria, which is the practice of coding numbers into words. And, day by day, we start noticing a specific pattern with these numbers. And I know if you guys are new here, this is going to sound kind of kooky. But trust me, if you stick around, you're going to notice that this is a repetitive thing that goes on every single day in your news headlines. And it's always around the same numbers. Every month, we report some suspicious deaths on dates with 44 numerology. And that's because this is a very faithful number. In the language of Gematria, the word kill, it has a numerical value of 44. And all this means is you take the alphabet and you apply the number to the letter according to its position in the alphabet. So, for example, K, which happens to be the 11th letter in the alphabet, it has the value of 11. I is the 9th letter in the alphabet. When you write out the alphabet 1 through 26. I is the 9th letter. L is the 12th letter. So you add up the values and kill. 11 plus 9 plus 12 plus 12, it equals 44. So that's why right now they're saying that 44 people have passed away. I can give you a number of examples of how this number has shown up throughout history. For example, Martin Luther King, for example, one of the most popular figures in black history. he ended up being shot on April 4th, on 4/4. Famous musician Marvin Gaye, he passed away at the age of 44, just one day before his birthday. Again, this number has shown up every single time in tragedies, like the death of MLK and Marvin Gaye. And again, every single month on days with 44 in numerology, we are reporting a suspicious death in the headlines. So I don't know if this number will rise. It probably will, but this is why they're reporting this number as of right now. You guys notice the 100, it says here that 146 people have been transferred to the hospital after the roof collapse. Now, this is a very important number because, again, this all connects to the Jesuit order. And in the language of Gematria, when you write out Jesus Christ, it has a value of 146. There's something else I could talk about with this number as well. But again, these numbers are not official, but this is why they're reporting these numbers as of right now. So I don't know if maybe in 2 or 3 hours they'll increase the numbers of casualties. But again, these are rituals. This is why they're reporting these numbers right now. For example, the video that you guys saw, they said that it was 27 people died, right? For that, then they increased it to 44. That's because the word ritual, it has a value of 27. There's no doubt that this whole collapse was done on purpose. I mean, how does this even happen? This club has been up for years, right? How does a roof just collapse without any warnings, any indication that it's going to collapse? Usually when a roof is going to collapse, you start seeing, some of the roof like breaking. It doesn't just collapse out of nowhere. Usually before these things happen, you start getting a warning signs. Like sometimes the one side will start leaning down, and it can give you like a heads up, like, oh wait, something's up. This might happen. This might fall. It doesn't just collapse out of nowhere, you guys. Obviously, when they can do the investigation, they're gonna come out with a bullshit reporting and say that it happened because of this reason. But we all know that's all false. This roof collapse was done on purpose, and it was done by the Jesuit order. And the way you can confirm this is by looking at the numbers, because they report the same numbers in all of these rituals, from September 11th to the day that the coronavirus pandemic was declared. It's always the same thing. One of the things that stood out to me right away when I was looking at this story is that the president of Dominican Republic, Luis Abinader, I made a video about him the day he got selected as president of the Dominican Republic. He was 52 years old, and he won the election, or the selection, because the election was also rigged by the same code of Gematria. He was 52 years old, and he won it on the 52 day numerology. And of course, his name Luis Abinader equates to 52, and 52 is a very important number because President and White House, they all have a value of 52. Here in the United States, and I don't know exactly where you guys are watching this video from, but here in the United States, most of the presidents that are selected, they are put in there by the 52 code, from Trump to George Washington. So yeah, he was 52 years old when he became the president of the Dominican Republic, the president number. But notice he was born on July 12, 1967. Yesterday was the 271st day of his age, and that's the 58th prime number. And this happened at the Jet Set Nightclub, which equals 58. And this is a very important number because Freemasonry, secret society, they all have a value of 58. So very, very important number. And if you guys notice what I wrote up here, his full name is Luis Rodolfo Abinader Corona. And remember, he got elected or selected as president after the coronavirus pandemic, after him and his wife got the coronavirus germ, supposedly. The first president after the pandemic in the Dominican Republic was the guy named Corona. But his full name has the 266 and 122 Gematria, which just shows you guys that these people are being put there by the Jesuit order, because the Jesuit order's motto is Jesus Hominon Salvator, which stands for the greater glory of God. Notice it has the Gematria of 266 and 122, so he's coded with the Jesuit numbers. So, I wrote here the 217th day of his age. That's actually wrong. It says the 271st day of his age. So I'll correct this. But yeah, the 271st day of his age, this collapse happened in this country, the 58th prime number. And keep in mind that today's 147 days after Arturo Sosa's birthday, the Superior General of the Jesuit Order. 147 days after his birthday, Arturo Sosa. Look him up if you guys don't know who that is. He is the Attorney General of the Jesuit Order, the people behind these satanic rituals. And of course, in Gematria conspiracy, the word nightclub has a Gematria of 147 as well. Nightclub is also 48, and this happened yesterday on 4. Actually, it happened today, this morning, on 4/8, on April 8th. And of course, Illuminati is also 48. And there was 2 celebrities at this nightclub. Ruby Perez, he's a singer. Hey, oh my God, I was reading this article, man. Like, these people they like to mock the masses, and in such a funny way, man. They say that the reporting said that Ruby Perez, he was the person performing at this nightclub, and that his daughter told media that the only reason they was able to find her father is because he started singing while he was under the roofs, like under all the debris. You imagine doing that? Imagine, the roof falls on top of you and you start singing so that people can find you. Actually, I'll look it up. Maybe you guys think that I'm making this up. Look, I'll look it up. It's just imagine doing that. Imagine all this. The roof falls on top of you and you start singing so that the rescuers can find you. It just such bullshit reporting. Oh, here it is. Perez's daughter, Sulenka Perez, said her father started to sing so rescuers can find him in the rubble. Wow. His voice saved him. The reason I think he was selected for this ritual is because in Gematria, his name, he has some very interesting values. Notice his name is 51. The word conspiracy. His name is 51 and 57. Conspiracy equals 51 and 57. The president right now, he's 57 years old. But if you look up his birthday, I wonder what song he was singing. Maybe the roof is on fire. But notice his birthday is March 8th, right? 3/8 or 8/3. In Gematria, murder, death are all 3/8/38. So the guy with the 3/8 birthday, was performing at this nightclub. And notice what else is 3/8. Jet Set, the name of this club. And it's also, 83 and 79, like murder. And notice Jet Set is also 16. Today is 16 weeks after Pope Francis' birthday, the first Jesuit Pope. This happened at the Jet Set nightclub. And then another celebrity was there. It was a baseball player who won the World Series with the Cardinals. And his name is Octavio, yeah, I think that's how you say it. Octavio Dartel. He's 51 years old. Again, another 51, right? You guys want to take a guess what his name equates to in Gematria? Again, it's always the same thing with these people. And he actually passed away. Ruby supposed to be, he started singing. That's why he got, that's why he was saved, because his voice, according to his daughter, his voice saved him. But the baseball player, Octavio Dartel, he wasn't so lucky. He actually passed away, supposedly, according to the New York Times. But notice Octavio Dartel, who's 51 years old, ended up dying at the age of 51, when the name Octavio Dartel equates to 51, like conspiracy. And again, he won the World Series with the Cardinals back in 2011. So I wonder if this is all synced up with the World Series this year, depending on who's going to be there. I think that year the Cardinals beat the Rangers in 7 games. So I know the Rangers are doing pretty good. I don't know if this is all synced up with them. Let me look at the schedule. The Cardinals are playing the Pirates today, and the Rangers are playing the Cubs. Actually, the Rangers are 8-3. So we'll take a look at this. Look at the scores today to see if it's all synced up with the World Series this year or this tragedy that happened in the Dominican Republic. But it usually is because when they reported Octavio Dotel's death today, the first thing that they brought up was the fact that he won the World Series with the Cardinals back in 2011. So, and this is what they usually do. They usually sacrifice these players and before the championship game. So something tells me that this player was sacrificed and he didn't die because of some unfortunate situations, which a lot of people in the Dominican Republic think right now is the case, but it's not. It's not. This stuff is ritual. And notice what day he made his debut in the MLB on 26/6, going back to that 266 number that's so important to the Jesuit order. So thank God his voice saved him. 150 patients. Yeah, so you see the toll just went up from 146 to now 150. Illuminati has that gematria of 150. At least 44 people are dead, including a governor and a saxophonist, after the roof of a Santo Domingo. And I think Santo Domingo has gematria of, is it a 147? I don't know. I don't remember exactly. It's actually 56, like Society of Jesus. It's actually 146. Just like how Jesus Christ is 146. Look at that. So that makes sense. When they reported that 146 people was transferred to the hospital, that's the gematria of Santo Domingo where this all happened at. Santo Domingo is 146, like Jesus Christ. That's what I was saying. That this number it's more important than just the Jesus Christ value. It connects to other things as well, and we just noticed it right here. Santo Domingo is 146. There's also 61 like Jesus, right? And remember, this is the country that has the Bible in their flag, right? The Bible that was written by the Catholic Church. Speaking of Catholic, notice Catholic Church. Maybe it's these Catholic Church. What is this? 140. There's another 146. Let me just look in the database real quick. Cause there's another 146. That's very important. So yeah, we spoke about Jesus Christ is 146, and that's funny. Death toll is also 146. It's slipping my mind right now, but this 146, it's huge. Yeah, hopefully I'll remember before the video ends. But yeah, this 146 is very important to the Jesuit order. Yeah, so let's see what else they reported. So yeah, so 44 people died. Yeah, so the baseball player who was 51 years old ended up not losing his life at the age of 51 when his name equals 51, a conspiracy. And yeah, the singer Ruby Perez, born on March 8th, he survived because his wonderful voice saved him. Exactly 1 month after his birthday, after turning 69 years old. The guy who's always doing the praying hands in his photos. There he is. Jesuit order pose. All right, so let's see. Yeah, and basically what I was saying is that usually when this is about to happen, you get clues. This doesn't just happen. If the roof was damaged, if you get signs. The whole roof doesn't just fall at once, How does that happen? If you guys want to call in, I'm gonna put the number on the screen. Maybe you guys can maybe you guys saw something that I missed. The number should be on the screen now. It's 646-986-0958. If you guys notice anything that I might miss in this video, please call in, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people new here watching these videos to learn exactly what happened. People who might have lost family members. Again, there were 44 people who lost their life. That's a lot of people. And I don't know if I was watching some of the videos. A lot of people ask me, if these tragedies are all hoaxes. And I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. I think these people are really being murdered, because some of the videos that I saw that the media is not putting out, they were all cell phone footages of actual people, with their head cut open and stuff. It was some gross things that I can't show on this live stream, but I don't think these things are not fake, not all hoaxes. These are real satanic rituals, real murders happening, but people need to learn who's behind it. This stuff is not an accident. People need to know why this is happening on the dates that it happened, and who is it connected to. Luis Abinader, with his fake tears at the scene, he knows more than what he's saying, Yeah, they're still saying 44 people, so that might be the final tally. So let's see. Let's see if I can find some photos of Luis Abinader with his fake tears hugging some of the victims. These people are sick, sick, sick. But this is what they have to do to be in position, You want to become president at the age of 52, this is what you have to do. Yeah, there's no photos of him right now. I know I saw a couple of photos of him in another post. Look, another 50. So Dartel was the baseball player who was 51 years old. Again, his name equals 51. So he debuted for the New York Mets in 1999. Okay. And he played until 2013 for more than a dozen teams, including the Houston Astros, the Oakland A's, the New York Yankees, the Chicago White Sox, and the Detroit Tigers. Thinking about our people in the Dominican Republic, Carlos Mendoza, manager of the Mets, said in a press conference, "We have a lot of the Dominican community in the baseball world. Nearly 150 people have been taken to a local hospital for treatment. According to the government, the cause of the roof collapse remain under investigation." Yeah. We already solved this investigation. You guys don't have to do it. We already did it over here. 150 people. Yeah, Illuminati's 150. There's nothing to investigate. Save your money. We did it for free over here. I wonder if these are crisis actors, because I don't see any. You guys ever notice in these photos, there's never real tears. They're just squinching their eyes, right? Where's the tears at? It's just amazing how these people can cry without tears. It's just amazing. It's all crisis actors, I think, you guys. Crisis actors, but I think they're all real victims in these collapses. Amazing. Ruby Perez. I'm going to look at the chat to see if I missed anything. Yeah, that's probably why the other 146 that I was missing. Yeah, Donald Trump has the 14/6 birthday as well. Speaking of Trump, I should measure from his birthday, right? Because he is the leader, the commander-in-chief right now, leader of the free world. Today is 4/8. 67 days before his birthday, or 298 days after his birthday. And notice his last birthday was on the kill date. Donald Trump. All right, 67 days. We know the blood sacrifice number, human sacrifice, 167. Might be what that is all about. It's also a span of 68 days, and Donald Trump has the 68 in his name. Jet Set. Reminds us of what they did with the other jets in New York. Yeah, Mark Alexander, if you want to call in, sure. If you want to call in, sure. Why not? You want to call in? sick stuff, you know. Looks like Mark is actually a troll. I'm thinking because he has all these laughing emojis. I don't know what this is about. Why is he laughing so hard? You know, usually what I learned about people who write with laughing emojis, they're usually not laughing. Like, Mark, you're probably not even laughing. Like, people who type in the laughing emojis are not laughing 9 out of 10 times. Yeah. A psychologist told me that. All right, so I'll probably end it there. Yeah, again, rest in peace to all the people who lost their life. If you guys have any comments that you want to leave under this video that's going to help further this ritual, further the clarity of what actually happened, please leave a comment. But again, this is all the Jesuit Order's work. No doubt about it, you guys. We got a baseball player dead at 51 when his name is 51. We got 44 people dead at kill code. And speaking of Ruby Perez, his name is actually Roberto Antonio Perez Herrera. His name is 153 and 144. Like Jesuit Order. Yeah, Jet Set Nightclub on the 271st day of the president's age, the 58th prime number. The president with the 266 name. Yeah, all these trolls, they never call in. They just have a bunch of stuff to write in the comment section. But they can never have a real conversation and debate and have a respectful back and forth. It's always nonsense. It's always jokes. And it's unfortunate because we are really the only people fighting this evil tyranny. Nobody else is doing it. Nobody else even knows what's going on. It's just sad that this is a war that I don't think is ever gonna be won. I'm actually gonna agree with Topsy on this one. So Octavio Eduardo Dortel is his full name. His name is 83 like murder. Huh. Today is also the day can be written 80/4 like 84. You know, Jesuit Order is also 84. '56 and 79 like Society of Jesus, right? He says, why can't I have a back and forth with Zach? Why would I have a back and forth with Zach? He doesn't disagree with Gematria. Why would I have a back and forth with him? Yeah, these people are just here to they love the back and forth, the division. You know what I think? I really think that it was actually a lot of these trolls who created that feud between me and Zachary Hubbard. Because I don't think I've ever said anything negative about him. So I don't know why he ever felt bad about any of the things that I was doing. So it might be like these are were the people behind the feud that divided my community and his for some reason. But it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you guys are just gonna be exactly that, trolls for the rest of your life. That's all you guys are. When it's all said and done, that's what you're gonna be remembered as, a troll. Somebody who didn't do anything to stop. It should have been you, Mark, at that club. You should have been one of those 44 people. Unfortunately, you're here in the chat again. But hopefully, the next time you go to the club, the roof comes down on you. All right, you guys, enjoy your Tuesday, and I'll see you next time. Peace.